At 75, Richard Gere stands at a place in life where reflection feels less like nostalgia and more like responsibility. For decades, he has been known as the quiet charmer of Hollywood, a man whose calm presence and thoughtful interviews seem to rise above the noise of celebrity culture. So when rumors surfaced that he had spoken candidly about difficult professional relationships, many were surprised. Yet those who have followed his journey closely understand that Gere has always valued honesty, even when it feels uncomfortable. Rather than framing his experiences as a list of people he hated, Gere has described them as complicated chapters, moments of tension, misunderstanding, and bruised egos that shaped him. His reflections are less about blame and more about growth, offering insight into the fragile balance between artistry and personality in a fiercely competitive industry. Roots in discipline and curiosity. Born Richard Tiffany Gere on August 31st, 1949, in Philadelphia, and raised in Syracuse, New York, Gere's early life was far removed from red carpets and flashing cameras. He grew up in a Methodist household where discipline, music, and community mattered deeply. As a teenager, he excelled in gymnastics and developed a love for music, playing several instruments with genuine passion. He attended the University of Massachusetts Amherst on a gymnastics scholarship, majoring in philosophy, a field that hints at the introspective man he would become. Yet the pull of performance proved stronger than academic certainty. Before graduating, he left college to pursue acting, a decision that felt risky but authentic. Those early years of study and discipline shaped his approach to craft, thoughtful, controlled, and deeply internal. It was a foundation that would both elevate his performances and, at times, clash with more spontaneous collaborators. The stage as a testing ground. Gere's career began in theater during the 1970s, where long rehearsals and intimate performances forged his reputation. On stage, there is no hiding behind editing or camera angles. Every emotion must be lived in real time. His performance in the Broadway production of Bent earned critical attention and revealed a willingness to tackle complex, emotionally demanding material. Theater also sharpened his seriousness about preparation. Directors and fellow actors often described him as focused, sometimes intensely so. While many admired that dedication, others found it distant. The stage taught him to protect his creative space, to build emotional walls when necessary. That approach served him well in films like Days of Heaven and Looking for Mr. Goodbar, where his quiet intensity felt magnetic. Yet the very discipline that anchored him sometimes created friction with personalities who thrived on improvisation and unpredictability, becoming a reluctant icon. The turning point came in 1980 with American Gigolo. Gere's portrayal of Julian Kay transformed him into a global star almost overnight. He became a symbol of sophistication and modern masculinity, admired for blending vulnerability with sensuality. Fame, however, changes dynamics on set. With An Officer and a Gentleman, and later Pretty Woman, Gere was no longer just another actor. He was a leading man carrying enormous box office expectations. Success can amplify insecurities, both personal and collective. When actors with strong visions share space under intense pressure, differences can escalate quickly. Gere has acknowledged that during those years he was protective of his craft, sometimes to the point of rigidity. As stardom grew, so did scrutiny, and every disagreement risked becoming tabloid fodder. The romantic image audiences adored often masked the reality of long hours, creative disputes, and the delicate negotiation of ego behind the scenes. Early clashes and strong personalities. One of the earliest professional conflicts often mentioned in Hollywood lore involved a project in the 1970s that Gere ultimately left before completion. Accounts from that time suggest a clash of temperaments rather than outright hostility. Gere has reflected that youth, ambition, and insecurity likely played equal roles. In a competitive environment filled with rising stars eager to prove themselves, small disagreements can feel enormous. Looking back, he has described that period not as a feud, but as a lesson in humility. "We were all trying to find our footing," he once said in an interview. Sometimes that meant stepping on each other's toes. Rather than revisiting the specifics with bitterness, Gere frames that chapter as a reminder of how fragile collaboration can be when patience is thin. Time, he suggests, softens even the sharpest memories, revealing misunderstandings where anger once lived. Creative tension in dramatic roles. During the filming of intense dramas, including courtroom thrillers and character-driven pieces, Gere occasionally encountered co-stars whose methods differed sharply from his own. Some thrived on improvisation, rewriting lines moments before a scene began. Others preferred emotional spontaneity over structured rehearsal. Gere, rooted in theater discipline, sometimes struggled with that unpredictability. In later reflections, he has acknowledged feeling challenged, occasionally even unsettled, by collaborators who pushed boundaries in unexpected ways. Yet he also credits those same experiences with sharpening his adaptability. "You don't grow by working only with people who mirror you," he explained. "What once felt like rivalry now feels, in hindsight, like creative friction." While rumors once painted these dynamics as personal dislike, Gere has clarified that most tension arose from artistic differences rather than malice. In a field where ego and vulnerability intertwine, misunderstandings can easily be mistaken for hostility. Romance, rumors, and reality. Gere's on-screen romances fueled public fascination, particularly his chemistry with leading actresses in beloved romantic films. Audiences often assume that cinematic magic reflects real-life harmony, but filmmaking is rarely so simple. Gere has gently dispelled myths about perfect partnerships, explaining that professional relationships evolve over time. Reuniting with former co-stars years later can reveal changed priorities, different work rhythms, and personal growth. None of this equates to hatred, he emphasizes, only the natural drift that occurs when careers and lives move in separate directions. The public, however, tends to crave drama, turning ordinary disagreements into epic feuds. Gere has learned to navigate those narratives with restraint. "People want a fairy tale," he once observed, "but films are made by human beings. Behind the glamour are deadlines, fatigue, and pressure, all capable of magnifying even small creative disagreements." The weight of competition. In ensemble casts, competition can quietly simmer beneath the surface. Awards buzz, screen time, and critical praise sometimes create unintended tension. Gere has admitted that during certain productions, he sensed rivalry where collaboration should have flourished. Yet he resists framing those moments as personal betrayals. Instead, he sees them as reflections of an industry that rewards comparison. When one actor receives particular acclaim, others may feel overlooked. Gere believes that open communication could have eased many misunderstandings. "We rarely talked about what we were feeling," he has said. "We just carried it." Over time, silence can harden into distance. His present-day reflections carry regret rather than resentment. If he could revisit those sets, he suggests, he would choose more dialogue and less defensiveness. In that sense, the so-called list of disliked collaborators becomes a meditation on missed opportunities for understanding, spiritual grounding, and perspective. A practicing Buddhist since the 1970s, Gere credits his spiritual path with reshaping how he interprets past conflicts. Meditation and humanitarian work have broadened his sense of proportion. Compared to global issues like human rights and homelessness, causes he passionately supports, professional disagreements seem small. He has spoken before the United Nations, advocated for Tibet, and funded initiatives through his foundation. These commitments have reframed his understanding of ego. "Holding on to anger is exhausting," he has shared. "Spiritual practice encourages compassion, even toward those with whom we've struggled." In that light, the idea of naming actors he hated feels incompatible with the philosophy he embraces. What remains are stories of tension transformed into insight. Gere's reflections suggest that personal growth often requires revisiting uncomfortable memories, not to reopen wounds, but to release them with clarity and grace. Legacy beyond conflict. As he reflects at 75, Gere seems less interested in recounting grievances than in understanding how they shaped him. Each challenging collaboration taught him something about patience, adaptability, or humility. Some relationships never fully healed, others quietly softened with time. Yet none define his legacy. Instead, his body of work, from romantic classics to complex dramas, stands as testament to resilience. The industry thrives on narratives of rivalry, but Gere's story feels more nuanced. He acknowledges missteps, recognizes shared responsibility, and resists reducing colleagues to caricatures. In doing so, he offers a mature perspective rarely heard in Hollywood retrospectives. His honesty is not about revenge. It is about integration. The people who once tested him also helped refine him, and perhaps that is the deeper truth behind the headlines, that even conflict, when viewed through reflection and compassion, can become part of a life well lived.